David, when he fought Goliath. David was one of the youngest in his army. And when everybody backed down, when everybody could not believe in themselves and the gifts that God had gave them, David stepped up with a slingshot and took this giant down. One of the second things that I found within youth does not define wisdom. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were put into the furnace because they refused to stop praying. When the ruler of their land told them, don't pray, you are not allowed to worship, they said, that's not how I was raised. I was raised to serve God. And they understood. They were wise enough to understand that they would rather become martyrs for Christ than hide themselves just because of what someone else is saying. Number 3, which was my favorite because I read on this. I had no idea about it. When I was researching it, my mom was like, oh, well, this one is, and so I read on it, and it is King Josiah of Judah. He became king at 8 years old, and he was ruling over an unholy land. They were not following the Lord's laws at all. And at the age of 26, he found the book of laws. And when he understood that his people were not following the Lord's laws, as a king, as a young king, he ripped off all of his garments and he bowed down before the Lord. And because of this, because of his wisdom, the Lord said, I will not, you don't have to persecute like all of these others, but they will. But because you were wise and you understood right from wrong, you're good. And number 4, which everybody knows this story, is when Mary and Joseph were looking for Jesus, they found him at 12 years old amongst the elders in the temple of the Lord. And that alone tells us in the Bible, just because you're young don't mean you're not able to hold your own with the wise and the elders. And that also lets us know that not only can he hold his own, but he was respectful enough to listen and to understand. One of the second points that I got from the scripture was, you cannot carry yourself any way while wearing the name Christ. The excuse, I'm only human, the excuse, the Lord knows my heart, that don't fly when you're wearing the name Christ, when you're wearing the name that you're a Christian. As a Christian, you are held to a higher standard. You're supposed to be better. You don't just put on the name. It's more than a name. It's a role. It's a responsibility. So you act according to, which means your conduct, the way you behave. You shouldn't have people saying, oh, Christians are like everybody else. No. You should have people saying, well, let me go see what it is about Christians that make them so much more than everybody else. It shouldn't just be, oh, they're like everybody else. I don't have to pay attention to this. I don't even want to know about it. The third thing that I got was the tongue has the power to heal and to kill. This is regarding to our speech. And this is more than just being a Christian. Words are more than just words. They are emotions. They hold weight. They are your honest and true feelings about something. The way that you speak, it's out there. Mm-hmm. You may not feel like, you may say something and you think nobody heard it, but somebody remembers. Everybody remembers what you say. And as a Christian, as anybody, as a young person, you don't want to be known for the person with a potty mouth. You don't want to be known as the person who says very provocative and slandering things. You want to use your words the right way. You want people to be like, okay, this is a Christian woman. I can tell by the way she talks. You don't want people to hear you talking about how you went to church on Sunday and then cursing them out every other day of the week.
Amen.
Number 4 is agape. Agape is unconditional love. God wants us to love unconditionally, and He wants us to love fearlessly. And it's very hard, I can tell you that. But one thing that goes hand in hand with agape is forgiveness. And I'm not talking about I forgave you, but I ain't forgot what you did. I'm talking about true forgiveness. Forgiveness where you forgive someone and you move past it. You act like they've never done you wrong. Because if you hold that grudge, you will never be able to achieve agape. Number 5 is just a little pinch of faith. You hear people tying the words faith and hope together as if they are one and the same. They're not. Faith is not hope at all. Hope is, I think, but I ain't really sure. Faith is, I don't know, but I believe. Faith is, I'm not sure myself. I ain't got to see it to believe it. I ain't got to hear it to believe it. I just believe. You can't change my mind about nothing. As Christians, a little faith goes a long way. There will be people out there wanting to test your Christianity, and they will know the Bible better than you do. They will know the Bible just to repeat it to you to see what you have to say about it. Oh, well, how did the Lord turn water to wine? I don't have to be there to know, but I know He did. I believe He did. I have faith that He did. And as a Christian, you have to have faith. And one of my last points is be free. Purity is, by definition, to be free of anything that debases, that contaminates, or pollutes. You have to be free in the mind as well as in the heart. You can't let negativity hold you down. You can't let it hold you back. This means that anything that you feel like is holding you, that you can't break free of, you need to let it go. And to put it in simpler terms, if it ain't giving you that godly glow, let it go. And that is my lesson for today.
Good question. What do you think as a young adult are some of the obstacles you face with being a young Christian, and how do you go about being a role model to your peers?
I think one of the hardest things as being a Christian in today's world is getting wrapped up in today's world. Because as a Christian, you have to hold yourself to higher standards. But you get so stuck into what's going on around you that you kind of get a little relaxed with your Christianity. And you just cannot, because if you fall into that, you fall into it, and it's going to be hard to get yourself out of it. So I think one of the biggest things for me is just, I think every day before I cut on my radio, I talk to the Lord. I don't have to pray to Him. I don't pray to Him. I just be like, Lord, You woke me up. You didn't have to do that, but you did. You're my man, you know. Just keep me throughout this day. That is one of the first things that I do every morning.
Okay. Anybody else?
You spoke earlier in the first conference about being young and being able to serve. And you spoke about don't be intimidated because of your age. You know, were you at any point intimidated by their faces? Because it also said that one of the scriptures, don't be intimidated by their faces. Were you not?
Oh, no.
So what you are saying to us is that you were prepared.
Very prepared. Not as prepared as I could have been, but I was prepared nonetheless.
Okay. In preparing for this lesson, what did you learn from it? And there's some areas that you feel like you can improve here in your church home.
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
As far as serving and...
I feel like everybody has room to grow. And I think one of the biggest things for me as a person would be forgiveness and purity, but because there are things that hold you down and hold you back. So before I can really just tell somebody, I could tell you this lesson, but I'm learning myself, so I can't really just enforce it as I should. But I'm learning myself, and so as I grow, you will see the growth.
That's right. Very good.
As a young person trying to be a Christian, I know you spoke about one of the obstacles and challenges is being wrapped up in the world. So what, if you could give somebody a piece of advice, a person who may find themselves wrapped up in the world or find themselves amongst peer pressure, what advice would you give them?
In the sense of peer pressure,
Or getting wrapped up to the point where I know we've all been there where somebody says, I can't believe you go to church, or you a Christian, because your conduct is not quite
There.
coming up or quite reflecting of what you are. What can you say to someone who finds themselves in that type of challenge to help themselves move past that challenge so that they can reestablish their relationship? Would you give somebody some advice? Or what advice would you give yourself?
okay, Kel, you need to take a step back because you don't want to be known as that girl. You don't want to be told that you're that girl. You want to be seen as someone who can be looked at. So maybe you need to take a step back from everything that you're doing and just look, focus on you, focus on where you're going. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to someone wise, talk to someone you look up to. But you can't keep going down the same path. Those are the words that I would give myself specifically.
And this is a question for all of you guys. In looking at the way the world is today, do you guys see that there's kind of a blur between the world and Christians now? Even in the music, because you got Snoop Dogg that came out with his album, you got a whole bunch of Nicki Minaj that crossed over into, do you think that that's kind of confusing young people at the same time? Because you have Nicki on one hand that's done a gospel album with Tasha Cobb, and then the next she's got this triple X, and then she's posted up and plastered somewhere half naked. Don't y'all think that that's kind of, what are your thoughts on that? I really, for me, I've always wondered about that.
Music don't define, because you can listen to music over here, but you still, it's just how you partake of the music, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of music got like negativity. Like
Yeah,
me,
they do.
I can
Yeah.
speak on me. I'm 24 years old, but
Right.
I go listen to Soul Heavy, Johnny Taylor, and Adam Wire. I very, very seldom put on rap in my car.
No.
I'm listening to old school. That's just me, you know. It's just,
Right.
I found me. I still, don't get me wrong. I still listen to rap, but I limit my rap, you know.
So you really guard one of your gateways, is what you're saying. You're careful about what you feed your soul.
Yeah, but then, it's really, you know what I'm saying? Because you can get something positive out of negative music. You just gotta twist the words around. You put some words in there that's positive. Don't use words that they use all the time. Something that's positive.
Okay.
And that is true because when we listen to, I've noticed this recently with my kids, more so my son. Like, I guess because he's at the point to where
He repeats.
he repeats everything.
Uh-huh.
So now I've noticed in my car when I listen to certain songs,
You turn-
like I have to turn it off because he literally
Repeats
repeats
it.
And I'm like, okay, you can't listen to that anymore. So I
Yep.
I have to listen to the radio. I have to listen to like the radio instead of my CDs because they don't play the explicit part.
Uh-huh.
They censor.
Right. They.
So I have to take that into consideration too. And then I also have to think about what am I doing? Am I reflecting good vibes? Am I reflecting good things for them? Am I a
Yeah.
role model for my kid? Not only for anybody else, but am I a role model for my auntie? Am I a role model for myself? Am I out here walking and talking like I'm supposed to? No. But that comes in time, change.
Right.
It's a process. So I'm sorry that I missed your lesson.
YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel.
Yes, but at the same time, like it's a process. Everything, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen like this. No, it's a process, a step-by-step process, and it depends on how you change it around. It basically has to be in you. Do you want to change? Are you ready for that change? What are you doing to make that change? I was talking to my cousin Erica about where I want to be, what I want to do, and every time she talked to me, her thing was, so what are you going to do to get to that? What are you going to do to change that? You got to, it's steps. You got to, not only is the steps, you got to actually go through with it, have that mindset and go for it, and don't let anything or anybody deteriorate you from what you're going to do and what you're trying to become.
But see, that shows growth in the fact that you even turned it off. Because I know people that'll still let it play, even with the child, they're listening to it. So see, that right there is a pat on the back, and that shows a direction, a step in the right direction of growth. And I don't want my baby cussing either.
Yeah.
So
The word that he was saying, like he was saying it like
clear. Yeah, right.
Turn it off real quick.
Yeah.
I'm talking about no.
It's been times like that. See, it's been times in my situation, like my mom, she ain't for all that. Like, she ain't for all
Right.
that.
That's how my mom
Dad,
was.
He let me listen to Too Short. He say put on Too Short. Put on. He like it, you know. But it's always different. It's always
You
different.
grew up with that, right?
I mean, it's always different with like a woman and
Yeah,
like,
it is.
we look at stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like women look at stuff totally different. Men, you might think it's ain't nothing wrong with that, you know. But at the end of the day, we still men and they still women. They got their beliefs, we got our beliefs. You know.
You know, it's kind of like that rapper. What's that? What's that guy? He got killed. The young guy. Right. And they were all talking about rest in peace, rest in heaven, all this other stuff to him. But did you guys? Yeah, he got shot. But did you see the photos of what he did to his girlfriend? Before that happened, he beat his girlfriend to where now she's legally blind in one eye. So how can yes? So he beat her to where she's legally blind in one eye. So somebody was showing up. They showed him, okay, y'all are saying rest in peace, rest in heaven. And here's this young man that beat his children's mom to the point where she is literally now she's blind in her. I think it's her left eye.
Yeah, but
So-
you can't get caught up in that. As an older person, I know that listening to music, my conflict did not come from what I listen to every day. But I used to listen to a lot of Christian radio. And then I was a part of these message boards and these things where they actually talk about these people's lives. And I was appalled that you sung this and I'm singing this behind you, but you live this way. Whereas I used to flip to my Snoop Dogg. I know where he lived, but I know what does a Christian look like. A Christian doesn't look like that holy road.
Oh no.
So I had to reconcile within myself that, hey, this is him, and his faith might be, it was a learning process for myself as well. That your walk, your faith, how you
Everybody's
do it,
different.
Everybody's different, and I had to develop my own, but that came from two sides of the coin. I listened to one thing, and then I saw, you know what? First off, I do not want to be the hypocritical person. I don't want to be the person who wears it like this, and then somebody's like, you know what? I didn't want to be somebody's stumbling block. That was my whole thing. And as far as like that little dude, I believe that you all, the Lord gives you a chance. I don't know how quick this dude died. I don't know if he got a chance to say, Father bless my soul. I don't know what he got to do. I don't know what his real and true personal relationship was like with the Lord before he did. So I can't judge what happens before then, because you know how they say a lot of people like to throw people's past in their faces once they become Christians or once
They do.
And we got to move past that because we blocking other folks. We blocking other folks by trying to say what they look like, because what they start out as is not what they end up as.
That's right. That's true.
So you
That's
have
true.
to just kind of, you know, I just caution you on the, you know, don't put too much weight on them. You have to really start trying to focus on you. Like, yeah, I see that. Oh, you know what? I don't want to look like that. So, Lord, I'm going to need you to work on me. And while you're working on me, you know, can we get a little closer so that I can know some things, so that I'm not easily fooled.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm learning a lot.
I have learned a whole lot. And the reason why I say that, because especially for this one back here, those are the ones that a lot of the kids look up to as I don't know why they do, but they look up to him as role models. And to me, that's not, he's not a role model.
But that's our fault, because we have let television, the telephones, all of that be primary focus. My cousin can tell you, when they were growing up, when they came in the house, first they shared a phone.
I didn't have no phone.
Yeah, first they didn't have a phone, then they shared a phone, then it was when you come in the house, your phone comes in the room.
That's
And
how,
there was forced parent time. Right now, she struggles with it because it's forced parent time. When she had a party, I took all the kids' phones. Y'all gotta talk to each other. They had a conflict where somebody's stuff got lost. They were all sitting in the room. I'm like, y'all are dogs, y'all friends. If it's lost for her, it's lost for y'all. Y'all
Everybody
gotta figure
look.
that out. We're letting our children, not necessarily raise themselves, but we're letting them develop that type of thought without guidance. And my dad, I think one of his things that I hate that he says all the time, they play is hard. And it always scares me because I'm like, you know what I don't want is for her to be 15 and for her not to know the Lord, or for me to tell her something that she doesn't quite understand where I'm going with this, or for her not to be able to start thinking for herself and challenging those things around her for herself. So a lot of things I'm just like, you know what, we gotta do this with this kid. You know, It's hard though, but she's my last one, and she's so different from the other two.
You can see between me and my sister, you can see the generational gap.
yeah, because of the way society goes. They come out different. Oh, he's different. They come out different.
Twice.
I'm telling you, I say that all the time. I call them recycled.
Yeah.
I do. I say it all the time. I look at some of I'm like, oh, some of these kids know more than I know.
It's what they've been exposed to.
Yeah, so it's not the practical thought. They can't apply anything. They can't.
No, they can't
like
problem
their
solve.
emotions and stuff like that. They don't even know how to regulate